So whenever you're ready, Kyra, go ahead and start.
Sure. So, hey everyone, I'm going to cover some findings I've learned from our qualitative research. So, us fellows collaborated with VNL to interview adolescents and young adults. Before conducting our search with finding the participants, we brainstormed research questions that were relevant for their experiences. We've worked to make our questions open-ended, and all of the responses we received were all meaningful and diverse. We asked them questions surrounding their hobbies, interests, goals, and their thoughts on social connectedness and resources. Yes. So after we solidified our interview prompt, each of us began our quest for finding potential interviews. This was like in the beginning of the semester, so early August. And this was a great time to find people as there's many events going on campus and whatnot. So we were able to find 23 males, 23 females, and 2 non-binary young adults. At first, I thought that we'd end up with a larger sample size of younger people who would mainly be interested in the gift cards, but I was mistaken there. I had the opportunity to interview a couple of them and sit in some other interviews as well. And they all felt like a natural conversation as we progressed through. We even went over the allotted time in a couple of them. And I think it's amazing how comfortable and eager these young people were to share their stories. Next slide. Yes, thanks. So here we have a couple of quotes from multiple young adults. Now, when we asked them to define social support, the young adults always included a degree of emotional support in their responses. The emotional support could be having someone listen to them, give advice, spending quality time together, and mentorship. Most of them mentioned mental health support being an important component as well. Next slide. Yes. So young adults felt older adults were more confident in reaching into their support network due to them having more established relationships with their peers. Also having more resources, such as having a stable income. And some of the interviewees said that older adults have more access to reliable information sources such as news subscriptions, whereas younger people tend to get caught up on current events from social media and run the risk of viewing false information instead. So I thought that was interesting since this point came up a few times, and having more general life experiences was also considered very valuable to the interviewees. The older adults' relationships were perceived as healthy and strong, even when they didn't connect as often with some of their network. Younger adults reported that the older adults in their lives mostly connected with each other through meeting in person, phone calls that go on for hours on end, and even letter writing. The letter writing was also another unexpected mode of communication. I didn't know people still did that anymore, but it's really touching. And next slide. So unlike older adults, the young adults tread with more caution when they seek support, and they prefer in-person relationships because they feel more real. They view social connectedness, they view social media as a passive form of communication. So also, when it came to actively seeking help in areas they need, introverted youth preferred going to their friends and family. Some even expressed feeling uncomfortable with reaching out to school counselors because it felt inorganic. So I have a couple of quotes here from other interviews. So a little over half of young adults denied resources due to lack of trust or them feeling disconnected from their network. Any judgment can discourage young adults from seeking support. The judgment can look like an older person in their life shaming them for having lack of experience or them being alienated from their peers. So the qualitative findings provide the stories and lived experiences, the context behind the numerical values that we looked at in the quantitative study. I really feel that by conducting these interviews, it gave the young adults a voice and a sense of feeling like they're making an impact, since many were interested in our findings. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share today.
Awesome job, Kyra. Thank you. I'm going to ask you the same question before we go over to Martha, but what was there anything in here that surprised you or left you with more questions?
Yes, so although I didn't mention this part, but I was really surprised to find that some of our younger participants, more in the high school age range, 16 to 18-year-olds, felt like they were more inhibited when it came to seeking help with their support networks compared to the older participants. So the older participants, more likely college students, said that they received a lot more support in regards to their academics, their career, and their support networks seem to be larger as well. So my question would be, how can we, what other methods could we think of to better support high school age young adults? Because another reason why it surprised me, because I thought that high school students would be more supported since they tend to live with their family and their parents, but that's not the case, unfortunately.